So first off, let's start off with this picture right here. This was taken at Virginia Tech. I think you saw those same trees represented just from a different angle in the presentation just now. And to me, this is the most beautiful representation of a silvopasture system that I'm aware of. It, and I use this picture all the time because it really shows the type of system that I think has very large applicability across the country. Grazers can look at that. People who mostly care about their livestock and want to use silvopasture to facilitate what they're already doing, facilitate their livestock enterprise, can look at this and say, I understand how that is going to benefit my farm. I understand how that is going to support the enterprise that I already have. If you look at the sheep right there, they're as far away from any tree as they can be because that shade is moving throughout the course of the day. And so those livestock are moving so that they don't get penned up underneath one tree and make it a bare spot. Those trees, those grafted millwood honey locust trees that we have right there, those are going to be dropping feed during November and December and January, especially, or that time frame when we need additional forages. And the canopy themselves are dappled, so they're still allowing a lot of light to come through the canopy, hit the forages beneath, so you're not losing any forage production. So it really addresses those key things that farmers want to see. They want to see their livestock not have heat stress. They want to reduce their feed bills, and they also the thing that gives them pause is not wanting to lose forage production. I think this system hits basically everything that farmers want to see from a silvopasture system. So this is what we are trying to make possible at scale. So our goal with Trees for Grazers is to see silvopasture adopted very, very widely. And our focus is on trees that are there to serve and support livestock. We don't focus our attention so much on trees that are there for human food crops. There's other organizations that are out there that are doing that and are going to do that much better than we can. Our focus is on trees that are there to support livestock enterprises. And what we see as the single largest bottleneck to seeing more silvopasture adoption is more technical service providers and especially more businesses that are out there in the landscape that can make silvopasture adoption easy for landowners. So we are based in southeastern Pennsylvania, and we started planting trees in pastures in 2020. So it's only been 3 years now, 4 years almost, since we did our very first silvopasture planting. And in that time, we've worked with 25 farms, and we've done multiple phases on many of these farms. And then this next spring, in about 2 months, we'll be putting in another 15 farms of silvopasture. And almost all of those are in one county in Pennsylvania. And so we've been able to achieve a very, very high density of silvopasture adoption in our region. And all of this is planting trees into pastures. Because of the context that we're in, there are very few woods that are grazed. Land goes for $30,000 to $50,000 an acre in our area. So everything is cropped and everything is grazed to the max. So in that context, we are always adding and integrating trees into those pastures. And we found that if we can make this process simple for people, there is significant interest. And it's not like when we started that people were knocking down our doors saying, we want silvopasture. But as we started working with a few early adopters and we did field days and tours, other people saw what we were doing and they saw early successes and said, if you can do that for me, I'm on board. And so we take care of everything that a farmer can need. So we will do consulting and planning with them. We will go out and find the funding to reduce the cost of the planting for them. So rather than have them go and find contacts and find funding, we're going to do that for them and make the connection. And we play matchmaker. We try to match the right funding with the right farmer. And then we have a silvopasture specific nursery because we don't want to put out just any old trees, and the trees that are out there right now don't really meet the standards that we have, especially for honey locusts or persimmons or mulberries, or the specialty trees that we want that are going to have significant upsides. The right genetics are not out there, and especially not at the right price. So we have our own silvopasture specific nursery. We do the planting and we do the post-planting care on these farms, because we know that if we leave it to the farmers, usually it doesn't happen, right? There's just so many other things that need to happen on a farm. And so we build into our contracts that we are going to be out there and we are going to take care of those trees at least twice a year for the first 4 years and make sure that those trees have the highest chance as possible of getting established well. And it's been very gratifying for us to work with farmers who have said, I have wanted to plant trees. I've wanted to establish trees on this farm ever since I moved onto the farm 20 years ago. But you know, the list of things to do is always 100 things long, and all of them should have been done yesterday or a year ago or 10 years ago, right? And so planting trees never gets to the top of that list. And even if it does, in reality, most farmers don't have good success when they go out and plant trees. There's a lot of things, as we've learned today, that can go wrong. And when you finally muster up the time, the energy, the money to invest, and then you have a 50% or 80% or a 100% mortality rate, that's discouraging. And so we're able to come through, and we've already done that, right? We've killed plenty of trees. We plant a lot of trees, we kill a lot of trees, but we learn from it every time because we are doing the whole process and we get feedback on every single thing that we do. And so we're able to learn and take those learnings and bring it to the next farm. So that's what we want to see, is we want to see other professionals out there, whether they're working for a nonprofit, whether they're working for a university, or whether they're in business for themselves, be able to provide those services. Because if you do that, you will find that there are farmers, there are homesteaders, there are landowners in your area that will say, yes, I want you to do that. I want you to bring that to me and allow me to do that. Look, the clicker worked that time. So in addition to the right people and having the services to make this happen, we want to see the right trees go out in the landscape, right? So historically, there's not been the demand for the type of trees that we want, or at the volume to make it worthwhile for nurseries to develop these trees and develop them at the right prices. It's one thing for a homeowner to want a grafted persimmon tree and pay $50 for one because it's going to be in their backyard. But if you ask a farmer to plant a persimmon tree and they have a choice between a $50 grafted one or a $2 seedling persimmon, but you don't know if that seedling is going to be male or female, and you're already going to put a lot of money and time and effort into getting that tree established, it'd be much nicer to know that that's going to be a female and to know if that's going to drop in September or October or December. So that's what we're working towards, is being able to design systems with the right trees. We want honey locust trees that are not thorny. We want thornless honey locust trees that are female, that are going to have high yields of high quality pods, and where we can determine if it's going to be early, middle, or late season, so that we can bring more value to that farm. And it can create a system, an ecosystem that actually works for the farm and creates significant economic benefits as well as the ecological benefits that we're all aware of, right? We want for farmers to be making choices to adopt silvopasture because they are confident that this will add to the economic bottom line of their farm and the economic resiliency. And as a byproduct, we get carbon sequestration and we got ecosystem services. And then impact takes time, right? And that's one of the most limiting factors of agroforestry, is that everything that we do takes time. There's no instant wins. But what you do want to do is start with the easiest wins that are out there. So this is a picture of a hybrid poplar live stake. And so what we've developed now is we have We have on all of our plantings, when we're bringing in hybrid poplars or hybrid willows, we bring them in for fast shade because that's what brings people to us is they want shade, and that we can give them pretty quickly and at a low cost. So coming in with a 10-foot tall hybrid poplar, we're able to get shade for livestock in 2 years, right? So that picture is taken in the second growing season after that live stake was planted. And actually, when that one was planted, it was only 8 foot tall. And then by now we have 10 or 12-foot tall live stakes. I've tried to see how far we can push it. I've put a 20-foot tall live stake out and all of them worked. So we can really push this and get much quicker results that are going to stand out. They're going to be visual demonstrations of success. And once you get success with the easy things, then you can try the larger scale and you can try the more complicated or finicky or expensive trees. But let's start off with easy wins on a small scale, get our foot in the door, and then we can build off of those early successes into more significant wins in the future.